Hello everyone, my name is Pixelriffs and welcome to another Snapshot video. This is Snapshot 21W13A, which was released just yesterday by the Minecraft team. Now today is of course April Fool's Day, April 1st, so they might have other surprises in store for us, which depending on how hard they've been working on it or, what else is going on, they might have released already. But this video is legit. This video is 100% real. We have a new snapshot this week that has a few additional changes. And like usual, I'm going to be exploring this snapshot into survival to... And as usual, I'm going to be exploring this snapshot in survival to check out what has changed in the lead up to the Caves and Cliffs update. Now, one thing that's immediately changed that I'm very happy about is that they fixed a problem with the crafting table where it wouldn't suggest recipes until you'd put stuff in your hotbar and moved it around a little. It was very weird, but that has now been fixed, so I'm very happy about that. Just going to put some basic tools together, and then we're going to go in search of a mountain biome. Along the way, we're going to pick up some food and supplies for a bed, and thankfully this plains biome generated a ton of passive mobs. We've got cows and sheep all over the gaff, so thankfully, yeah, we should be able to get plenty of food. We're going to need to go underground a little bit as well, because there have been some changes to caves also. Oh, but before that, I have discovered one of the new additions to the game, and of course we have seen the glow squid in previous snapshots, but only as a spawn egg. This one actually generated on the surface here, and I'm kind of surprised because they are supposed to generate underground. I assume this one here generated here because this swamp goes down a few blocks, and because this is technically below sea level, maybe it counted, or maybe even it swam up from a cave nearby, although it did seem to have just generated around here. So the glow squid is going to be fairly familiar to us already. I'm actually going to kill this one for some glow ink because that's the first time I've ever achieved that in survival. That's pretty cool. All right, well, I feel bad having killed the first one we found, but oh, okay. There is an aquifer here, so there is every possibility that we might see more glow squid rising from the depths down here. We also get to see an axolotl right there, over there in the distance here. Oh, and there's a couple of them coming up from the caves as well, and attacking the squid. Axolotls now spawn underwater in the same way that glow squid do in these deeper regions of the world. So axolotls are actually spawning naturally in Minecraft now. That's really cool to see. I honestly thought we were going to find the mountains and goats and stuff before we found any of these other mobs, but it's so cool seeing them wander around. And I'm not going to kill the axolotl because there's no need, really. They don't really drop anything useful right now, but it's kind of nice to see them floating around in their natural habitat and occasionally farming squid for you in the river. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll make a farm using axolotls in future. I don't know, but for now I'm going to grab some surface coal ore and we're going to take a look around to see if we can find a mountain before we go further down, because the tweaks to caves are actually going to be worth exploring in survival too. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to swim with a couple more glow squid because I've discovered that aquifers are usually a pretty good place to look for early game iron. So I'm going to quickly hop into this door here for an air pocket real quick, and we could potentially make some torches if we want to stash these in our inventory for the moment. We'll be able to explore with them a little bit later. I don't know if you can see it down there. It's kind of dark, but I'll try and brighten this in post and then very quickly come down here to show you this. This right here, we're standing on some dripstone. The dripstone has actually been incorporated into the game now. And dripstone and deep slate, the names might get a little bit confusing. This is the full block version of the dripstone stalagmites and stalactites that you'll find forming in caves. Blobs of these will start to form naturally in caves now, and so this isn't the best introduction to them, but hopefully we'll find a few more of those a little bit later. Look at this aquifer though, absolutely coming alive with glow squid, and I was skeptical about the glow squid for a while, and it still doesn't obviously produce any actual block light around it, but swimming around these things is a pretty magical experience. I just wish I had respiration so I could swim with them for a little bit longer, but wow, it is kind of cool seeing them in the world for the first time. The first squid variant we ever got. Very nice. Oh, okay, I was mining some iron and I've stepped out into a cave. The cave actually kind of intersected with this aquifer here, and I think we're pretty far down in the world. I'm not going to open the coordinates right away, but this at least looks like an opportunity to get some iron. So maybe we'll delay the mountain trip and for now focus on caving. From what I understand, some of the ore levels have been tweaked in caves so that we're going to get slightly more iron ore. I found that iron ore was really scarce in the previous snapshots to the point where I was trying to explore an aquifer to find it instead of going caving, but it seems like maybe we are low enough down. I can see a few blobs of deep slate. Maybe we're low enough down that we're actually going to find it more readily here. Or, oh, look, there's some stalagmites and stalactites in the ceiling. That's very cool. Yeah, it looks like we are potentially getting into deep slate level here, so I need to be on my guard. So I guess we'll delay our trip to the mountain. I'll grab myself a shield real quick. That'll help me feel a little bit safer. We'll try and find a bit more iron to smelt to make ourselves some full iron gear, and I brought enough food that I should be able to survive down here as long as this zombie conga line doesn't kill me. Oh, and one of them even dropped an iron ingot as well. How lovely of them. Yeah, we're playing on hard right now, by the way, so potentially we're going to see some reinforcement zombies spawning if I can't kill them effectively, but yeah, looks like we've got a few of them swarming around me right now. At least now I have the option of making an iron helmet and getting a bit more defensive. So I decided I'd better play it safe. We need to get some wood so that we can survive down there for a little bit longer, and this dark oak forest here seems like the ideal place to do that. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of wood from the surrounding area, and hopefully when we return to that cave down there, we'll be a little bit better prepared. Alright, we're back in the cave, and immediately being set upon by skeletons, but this time I feel like at least I've got some wood with me, so I'll be able to put some torches down where I need to and light the area up some more. So caves have been tweaked ever so slightly so that mine shafts look a little bit more natural and have a greater height. In some of those larger caves, you'll find the chains supporting them will dangle from the ceiling a whole bunch more. There have been a couple of changes made to make cave generation a little bit more interesting, and I believe they've also tweaked things so that huge caves are going to be much more of an interesting find. Having said that though, this cave feels pretty big to me. I wonder how big they're talking. So far I've had no trouble finding iron once we got this far down in the world. I don't know what it's going to be like caving down from the surface, but it seems like we've been able to find a decent amount of both iron and deep slate iron. The one problem I'm finding now is that I'm having to set up multiple furnaces and I'm running out of coal slightly, so I might smelt myself up some charcoal and then we'll try and get our way through the supply of iron until we have full iron gear. But this cave is looking fantastic. I can't wait to explore it a little bit more, and hopefully we'll find some diamonds easily while we're down here. Now we've got some bone meal, I could also start growing trees down here in the caves too. Let's throw some bone meal down on this one, and now it looks like it's probably not going to grow too far, so we'll just leave the torch down there and hopefully it'll grow up a little bit. Oh, that's where the zombie noise is coming from. There's a couple of them down there. There we go, cave tree. I like growing trees in caves. It's so nice. Kind of gives the cave a nice lush atmosphere when lush caves haven't been introduced to natural world generation quite yet. And I do wonder what we're going to see from those. Now that we've got a bit of dripstone lurking here and there, I wonder if lush caves are going to form the same way or slightly differently. We will see. So I was actually kind of interested in the cave formation here because we've got blobs of deep slate emerging, but there is still obviously some coal ore in this little vein here that I've started mining out. So we are still above Y0. In fact, right now we're at Y7. And the stone generation is starting to be taken over with blobs of deep slate. So you don't need to dig down below Y0 to find deep slate anymore. In fact, there's even some of it in the ceiling. According to the changelog, it will generate anywhere between Y16 and Y0 before the deep slate level of the world completely takes over. Makes for a bit of a smoother transition for me, and also makes deep slate as a material slightly less dangerous to obtain. Okay, got myself up to the level where we've got full iron armor, 2 iron pickaxes, and an iron sword as well. I'm probably going to stick with the axe for now, but maybe we'll be able to get a better sword on the go if we can find some diamond down here. I think we're ready to start exploring this cave, and now I've got some charcoal and plenty of regular coal as well. I can make about a stack of torches and feel a lot happier about our caving prospects. And when the caves get this big, I never quite know how to light them, so I think I'm probably just going to light a path with torches a little bit further in and see if we can find any more of those dripstone clusters that are hanging from the ceiling, because we've seen 1 or 2 of them here and there, but they are fairly infrequent right now. I presume the plan is to introduce them as a larger biome later on, as they do with lush caves, and it looks like we've got our first diamonds here, folks. Exciting times. Got 2 diamonds right there. Very nice. Maybe a little bit more buried around here, but we may just have 2. Oh yes, there is a third one. Okay, diamond pickaxe for me. Wonderful. And a couple more if we dig further down, potentially. There we go. All right, 4 diamonds is not too bad. I'll take it. We'll start making diamond tools, get a diamond pickaxe on the go, and maybe get a diamond shovel to upgrade the stone one if we need it. Another change they have made to caves is making larger diamond blobs a little bit more frequent as well. So chances are people were finding there was just too infrequent a supply of diamonds down here in the caves, and it was kind of nice to stumble upon some larger veins of diamond. It's always good to get that risk-reward balance figured out when you're adjusting something as vital to the game as caving, so it makes sense that they've added a few more diamonds down here to keep players looking for more. I don't know about you folks, but I'm starting to feel pretty comfortable in this cave as an environment. We don't have anything like the Warden to worry about right now, so that will still potentially have an effect on how caving feels once that is implemented, but I don't know, I like the deep slate levels of the world quite a lot, and despite the fact it takes a little bit longer to mine down here, it is really fun to go caving in these larger cavernous environments. Oh, there's some cobblestone down here, which means we've stumbled upon a mob spawner, and that's, wow, okay, interesting generation. A zombie spawner that's just going to spawn them falling into the cave below, it looks like. Well, I think I'll just raid this for the coal. For the moment, we don't really need any of the other supplies. The bones might be useful for regrowing trees, but I'm more interested in what's down here. Should we take a look? There's some lava down there at least, and maybe we'll find some bigger veins of diamond. If I can just get myself down there. Let's go back and get a water source so I can get down there safely. Part of me really wants to attempt the MLG water bucket right now, but I don't trust myself, so we're going to fall into this little source of water there. There we go, and the skeleton immediately shoots me from the shadows. That probably would have killed me if I'd taken any fall damage down here, so good thing we did it that way. Let's take this guy out, place a couple of torches around here, and we will be a little bit safer. The lava over here doesn't lead down to a full lava lake, but we've got plenty more to explore down here. How far down are we right now? -35. Wow, this is cool. Yeah, and more often than not, I'm finding these little offshoots and cracks here and there that only have 1 or 2 blocks that you have to remove at head height before you can walk on through. So they've certainly made little tunnels like that a little bit more inviting and accessible at the same time, which seems like a good change to me. Let's return to that big old cave, and the main thing I would like to find down here really is an aquifer. I'd like to see some of the axolotls and glow squid spawning down here in these low levels of the world, and that seems like the ideal place to find them. We've seen them on the surface already. Now let's see what they look like in what is intended to be their natural habitat. Oh yes, now you're talking. I've just spotted this, and the glow lichen really sets this place off. You've got a little bit of dripstone here, and actually quite a lot of dripstone in a cluster that hangs from the cave ceiling and meets the cave floor. And this is not a dripstone cave in itself, but it certainly adds some variety to the environment, especially down here where the recurrence of deep slate tends to make things feel a little samey as you explore. I think it's really nice that we can stumble upon landmarks like this now. Really helps you navigate in caves and in other areas of Minecraft, really, to have landmarks like that to follow. So I'm on board. I like it. Oh, and what's that I see in the ceiling up here? We've got ourselves some more diamonds. I will take them, and hopefully we've got a couple here that we can turn into something useful for us. Yep, that looks like enough for a diamond helmet at least. Brilliant. Or rather, some diamond boots. Kind of miscalculated how many I had there, but there we go. We can throw the iron boots out, and we've got ourselves a nice piece of diamond equipment. We can also start using the diamond pickaxe whenever we want to. Let's sort a little bit of this inventory by just chucking out some of the stuff I'm less likely to need. We'll keep the doors on us in case we want to swim out of here in the first place, but yeah, we've got a decent supply of stuff right now. My torches have just run out though. There's another dripstone cluster in the floor right here, and you don't see much of the corresponding side of it from the ceiling, but it does seem to be there, so it's kind of cool that it generates almost like pillars without pillars in this area. There we go, we get to see a whole bunch of it right there in the floor. You could gather as much of this as we wanted to, but it might be worth looking for a full dripstone cave once they implement slightly bigger blobs of this stuff in the world. It looks like there is a lot of water dripping from the cave ceiling above me, so I'm thinking we might be underneath an aquifer actually, and that's probably a good sign that we need to start digging upwards through here. Yes, there we go. What is going to be up here? Oh, there's some salmon in here? Ah, all right, and I'm hoping to find a place that we can at least breach the surface, kind of a lake that we can come out into, but otherwise we'll need to pop down the doors again so that we can step into these. There we go, and at least be a little bit safe and regain our breath. There we go, here's a surface that we can reach inside of this cave, so let's step back for a second and see if we can find any glow squid or axolotl spawning down here in this aquifer, because this is where we're probably going to find them. You'll probably find them spawning up on the surface like we did earlier in the video, but I would really like to see more glow squid appearing down here in these vast caves. And it could be they've already had chances to spawn elsewhere, but there's one. Haha, that's awesome. I kind of want to see what they look like from the surface over here. So we can surface into a geode. And imagine this. Imagine standing in a geode in Minecraft while glowing squid swim all around you. Well, we don't have to imagine it anymore because that's where we are right now. That's so cool. Yep, we got a couple of them down here, and I don't see any oh, no, there is an axolotl diving in the distance. Did you see that? They're so cool, and they will now apparently target other aquatic life pretty quickly. This one's just playing in the column of magma here, and I'm going to just pause here to regain my breath for a second. But yeah, they'll swim up to you. They're very friendly to players, but any other type of aquatic life, they will go after it. So if you find some glow ink floating in these caves, you'll probably have just encountered an axolotl having killed a glow squid. The glow squid, for what it's worth, seem to react to everything in the same way that regular squid do, so they're not going to be dragged down and take damage on magma blocks. They are just going to swim freely around the environment. Let's see if this axolotl decides to attack the glow squid that are nearby. They do have a bit of a cooldown on that behavior, so they'll only start to hunt after a couple of minutes of having killed something else, but it's definitely going to be worth sticking around here to see what they do. There we go, one of them is actually going after that glow squid. You can see it fighting the glow squid. That's so cool. I'm just trying to track it from inside of this bubble column that I'm standing in right there, and we got the kill on camera. The axolotl managed to take out the glow squid, and I am not positioned right. Let's see if we can swim up and get the glow ink. Yep, there we go. All right, well, I think I've seen enough from down here in the caves. Caving is still such an exciting experience in the 1.17 snapshots, and I cannot wait to do more of it. But for now, I think we should return to the surface and continue our quest to find the elusive mountain goat. And there we go, back on the surface in a dark oak forest, it looks like. Well, very nice. Let's see if we can find a mountain that we can spot from the canopy of this forest. If not, we'll probably just have to head further afield, or maybe look for it with the locate command at this point. But yeah, pillaring up from those caves is honestly not too bad. Ooh, looks like we got some floating trees over there in the distance. Is that a hills type biome, or is that mountainous? That looks like a hills to me, so maybe we can use that to scout for another mountain biome. Well, I've been searching for a while now, but the biggest mountain biome I've found so far is this. It's not much of a mountain, it's more of a molehill, actually, and I've not seen any goats spawning on this. I don't know if they spawn above a certain elevation, but yeah, this mountain biome is pretty small, and there are a lot of other passive mobs around here, so I presume we're going to have to find a nice expansive mountains biome that is maybe a little bit larger than this if we want to witness our first glimpse of goats in survival Minecraft. Oh, there we go. That's looking a little bit more promising. A stone's throw away in the neighboring swamp, we find a mountain range looming ahead of us in the distance fog. So let's head on over there and see if we can track down some goats, shall we? Oh, did you see that majestic leap there in the distance? You probably had to look a little closer than I was at the time. But over there on the hilltop in the distance, there is a small herd of goats. Let's head over there and see what they've got going on. Now, goats, as we know from seeing them and playing around with them a little bit in the Bedrock beta, are buttheads. And what do buttheads do? They like to headbutt. They are going to be a little bit aggressive to the player if you stand still for very long, and they like to play pranks on other mobs by waiting for them to stand still and then headbutting them off the mountainside. Let's see if one of these feels like doing the same to us if we dare to stand atop their hill. Let's stand maybe over here. There's a bit of a drop down there, and hi friends, how are you? Oh, they're so cute though. Look at them with their little fringes and everything. Oh, how precious. This one's, oh, they occasionally line up with you like that, and I worry. But maybe I have to be standing a little bit more central on a block. Maybe they just don't have a good run-up. Maybe we need to make a runway for them. Or maybe they're just feeling a little bit more chill today. But it seems like there are a few of them around here. Now we are fully immersed in the mountain range. I'm starting to see goats much more frequently around here. Apparently they can be bred with some wheat as well, so I've just cheated myself in a little bit of wheat at this stage. I really don't mind. If we want to tempt them around with it, yes, there you go. Okay, so they will follow you holding wheat, much the same as other farm animals will, and when you breed them together, on Bedrock Edition at least, you got multiple goats out of the bargain. This time around, we only seem to have one, but the baby goats don't have horns, and they are really adorable. Oh, look at that. The whole goat family hanging out up here is very, very cute. If I tip the water out of this as well, you'll find that goats are also another source of milk. So if you're having trouble finding cows, but you want to dispel bad omen or any other potion effects, you can always milk a nearby goat. Or if you want to make a cake, goats are going to be another source of milk for that too. Nice and easy to find if you're in these mountainous areas. And now that we've got cheats enabled, I may as well cheat myself in some powdered snow, so we can talk about that as well. So I'm going to give myself some powdered snow real quick. There we go, 1 powdered snow bucket. So powdered snow is, of course, going to be placeable as a block like this once you can acquire some of it in a bucket. I like the explosion of particles there too. But we have a couple of changes to it in this update, namely that the durability and hardness has been slightly increased, so that if you're shoveling it, you might be able to tell the difference between that and some snow. The freeze time for how quickly that freeze effect starts to take place when you're standing in powdered snow has decreased to 7 seconds, meaning it happens faster, and the time it takes to hurt you has also decreased. So you're going to need to act a little faster if you're stuck in powdered snow. Apparently entities on fire are now going to melt powdered snow when they collide with it, so if a zombie is set on fire by fire aspect or potentially by the morning light striking it, then potentially it will melt powdered snow as well, so make sure you gather it from an area if you want to take it away with you. Players will now also fall down through powdered snow a little bit faster than they used to, so it's not quite as evident once you're inside the block, but I'm definitely dropping there a little bit faster. Let's do that in third person so you can see a little better. There we go. You are dropping through the powdered snow a little bit faster than we used to. And once again, leather boots are going to allow you to traverse powdered snow a little bit more easily. I think I've brought some leather with me, so let's see if we can make some leather boots and see if the vertical travel is improved as you're traveling up through powdered snow as well. Yeah, okay. So that's potentially something that, you know, you could use as a really odd form of ladder. And since wearing leather armor protects you from the freezing effect as well, then maybe you can conceal entrances and exits to bases like this, and it's actually fairly easy to get out of there. The goats are able to traverse powder snow with ease, though, and other mobs are going to have different reactions to powder snow. Strays, polar bears, and snow golems are now immune to freezing, which is obviously, you know, the ones that are most used to a snowy environment, or in some cases, made out of snow. And there's good news for horseback riders, because apparently leather horse armor is going to prevent horses from freezing in powder snow as well. So if you're choosing to traverse mountains on your noble steed, make sure to get it some leather horse armor, so if you run into a snowdrift, you are not going to be in danger of losing your horse. On the flip side though, mobs that like heat, like striders, blazes, and magma cubes, are going to take increased freeze damage in powder snow, so they are going to they're going to die pretty quickly once they take that freezing effect. There you go. It just happened pretty instantly to that magma cube, even though it was a fairly small one. We're going to go full creative for this next one though, because Minecraft has actually added a light block that's only obtainable through commands in creative mode and creates an invisible ambient light that can only be seen through these particles if you're holding light, in the same way that a barrier block can be seen. It can only be created or destroyed through creative mode, and like the barrier block, the particles there will take a second to disappear. You'll notice it says 15 in the top left-hand corner of the sprite as well, and that is indicative of the light level this light is producing. So if you want light to appear from just completely random places in your map that you've made, then you can add these in, and different areas will be able to glow, allowing you to control a little bit more about mob spawning without having to conceal survival-ish light sources around, which is going to be quite useful. And I believe it's just, yeah, it's like an air-like block, so you can fly up into it, you can go through it. Players in survival mode won't even know it's there, but the ambience of the surrounding area will just be influenced by the light level of this block. And I'm not certain if you can give yourself a lighting block that has different values, but if you right-click on it, you can actually adjust the value of block light it emits. So we're sat inside of the light block right here, and as it is right now, if I stand in it, it's measuring the light level at my feet, which is a light level of 1. If I continue to right-click on this, it just adds a 1 to it each time until it gets to the maximum light level of 15 before resetting back to 0 again. So this is going to be a really useful tool for map makers, obviously not that relevant to those of us who prefer to play survival, but I can't wait to see what the community does with that. There are a bunch of other things that have been added in this snapshot. Most of them aren't really survival features, they're just kind of changes to existing features and tweaks, bits and pieces like that, and we mostly cover that kind of stuff over on my podcast, The Spawn Chunks, which you can find at thespawnchunks.com. It's kind of linked at the end of every video, and I'm sure my friend Joel and I will have a great time discussing this week's snapshot with you over there. For now, that's going to be it from me and the goats. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. My name has been Pixelrisk. Please don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.